Hello CSA members and anyone else who's watching. I'm Steve Dinger, and I'm going to do a video demonstration of how we begin our fall crops and also spring crops indoors, and how we transplant them out. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. So here we are. This is our big greenhouse at Bar Farm. If you remember from the previous video, we had a tour of Bar Farm and we walked around and got to see a little bit of the big house here. It was probably pretty brief, but we'll get a little bit more in, down on our knees and get into the dirt and check out things a little bit more. So, okay, let's go ahead and begin. So what we do here is we start our starts. As you can see, some of them over here. A little bit of green coming up, cabbages and stuff. And we start them in what we call soil blocks. And I like this system because it is an easy way to get by without using pots. A little bit more environmentally friendly. Also, the blocks, you can fit so many. You can fit about 96 blocks per flat, and it's quick and easy to make it. And the seeds come up very well. They germinate very well in these soil blocks. And yeah, it's just a nice system that gets transplanted out really quick instead of having to pop these out of a pot. You can just pull them right out and stick them in the ground and cover them up, and they're quick and easy. So how we begin is we start with a soil mixture, and this right here is sphagnum peat moss, and that's it's an organic. It's a moss that's grown in Canada, and it's very well water retaining, and so we use that as kind of our sort of base for our soil, and then we add to it. So usually I do like a third. So a third of peat moss, a third of compost, an organic compost. This really nice, rich, dark stuff. Makes a very nice fertilizer for the soil, for the starts. They can really pull up nutrients out of this. The peat moss doesn't have very much nutritional value at all for the plant, so that's why you have to add this compost. And then also to keep a little bit more water retention, because they can dry out very fast, we use vermiculite. It's a natural material, a natural mineral that it's very porous and it holds a lot of water. So we add that, each of these in thirds, and then so what I usually do is I usually fill up a 5-gallon bucket of each, and I screen it through this little guy, which can be very easily built. This one's Dale's. I have one of my own, but it's nice because you can kind of hold on to it and shake it back and forth, and everything sifts through, and you don't get, sometimes you get these little sticks and twigs and stuff that get caught in there, and you don't want that in your mixture. It just takes up space and doesn't allow the roots to fully grow into their soil blocks. So go ahead and screen it. I usually start with the peat moss. Then I'll get the compost and dump it in here and screen it. And then I can just throw the bucket of vermiculite straight in there, and then I mix it all up, and then I add water to it. And I add water till, it's not an exact science for me. I kind of do usually about a bucket and a half to 2 buckets of water, and I just kind of test to see what the moisture content is, if it's going to hold together when you use the soil block maker, which is this device right here. And you can get this from Johnny's Seeds, and probably other suppliers, but I found mine on Johnny's, and this is really nice. It's kind of like a cookie cutter for these little soil blocks. And the way it works, you can see here, I'll turn this over. It's got 4 rows of 3, or 3 rows of 4, whichever way you want to look at it, with a little dimple inside, and that makes the little hole that you can see on each of these soil blocks right there. And so the way it works is you press it down into the soil mixture. Once I got that all mixed up, you kind of work it in there a little bit, you pull it up, you bring it to a tray over here. We'll have an empty tray, and we've built these trays so that they perfectly fit. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 2, so that's 8 times 12 blocks. Gets you about 96 blocks there. And what you do is this little spring-loaded handle here presses it out, and then you release, and it leaves the soil block down onto the tray, onto the flat. So I'll give you a little demonstration here in a minute of how it works. I'll get the soil all mixed in, and then we'll come back and we'll start making soil blocks. So stick with me, and we'll put that in the next clip. So.